Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Yashasvi Gupta, with your daily roundup of legal updates from across the country. For detailed reading, you can always visit on our website, and please make sure to watch this video till the end. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. The Union Bank of India filed a petition before the NCLT Mumbai bench under Section 123 of the IBC, seeking initiation of bankruptcy proceedings against Mr. Kapil Wadhwa, personal guarantor of DHFL. Section 123 of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code talks about application by creditor. The bank had extended credit facilities to DHFL and Wadhwan along with another guarantor, executed a joint deed of guarantee for dues up to 50,656 crore. Later on, the CIRP of the corporate debtor was initiated in furtherance to Section 7 of IBC, filed by the RBI. Pursuant to the public announcement inviting claims, the petitioner filed his claim, which was admitted by administrator. Section 7 of IBC basically talks about initiation of corporate insolvency resolution process by financial creditor. On DHFL's default, the bank involved the guarantee demanding 3,958 crore, which remained unpaid. Consequently, a Section 95 petition was filed and the NCLT Mumbai bench admitted the petition and passed an order under Section 100 of IBC, which contains admission or rejection of application. The respondent challenged the order before the NCLAT, but the same was dismissed by the tribunal. Thereafter, he preferred an appeal before the Honorable Supreme Court, in which no order has been passed to date. However, the respondent failed to submit the repayment due to which the creditors unanimously agreed to initiate the bankruptcy process. Thereafter, the Union Bank of India filed the petition under Section 123 of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code to initiate the bankruptcy process of the personal guarantor. Adjusting recoveries, the outstanding liability stood 4,545 crore. The NCLT admitted the petition via order dated August 14, 2025 and appointed Mr. Sanjay Kumar Mishra as the bankruptcy trustee. The NCLT admitted the petition via order dated August 14, 2025 and appointed Mr. Sanjay Kumar Mishra as the bankruptcy trustee. Coming to the next news today, the Delhi High Court Bar Association urged the lawyers to wear black ribbons while appearing in the court as a mark of protest against Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena, declaring all police stations in the national capital as designated places for recording deposition of police officers through video conferencing. The notification states that the 226 police stations in the national capital were designated as places from where the police officials can depose before the courts through video conferencing mechanism and present their evidence. In a notice released today, the lawyers' body has requested the lawyers to wear black ribbons till the notification in question is withdrawn. The move follows the association's earlier condemnation of the August 13 notification and comes amid an ongoing strike by the Coordination Committee of all District Court Bar Associations, which began on August 21 in protest. Additionally, a PIL has been filed before the Delhi High Court challenging the notification, which is yet to be listed. A Delhi court has strongly criticized the Delhi police for filing a false case against 6 men in connection with the 2020 Northeast Delhi riots. Additional Session Judge Praveen Singh of Karkarduma Court acquitted the accused in this case. The court found egregious padding of evidence by the investigating officer, which led to a serious trampling of the rights of the accused. The judge noted that the charge sheet appeared to have been filed to only show the case as worked out, and supervising officers such as the SHO and the ACP forwarded it mechanically without proper scrutiny. The court observed that this undermines public faith in the investigating process and the rule of law. Accordingly, a copy of the judgment has been sent to the Delhi Police Commissioner for remedial action. The Patna High Court has overturned a man's conviction under the Bihar Liquor Ban Act. Because the breath ELISA test alone is not enough, there must be blood or urine evidence. Justice Alok Kumar Pandey highlighted that without such evidence, you can't conclusively prove intoxication. The court also flagged serious issues in the investigation, like the informant himself acting as the investigating officer, raising doubts about fairness. With conflicting witnesses' statements, an untrained officer using a machine without proper certification, and no clarity on the incident location, the court said the case was not proved beyond reasonable doubt. Therefore, the result was that the conviction was set aside and the man was released. The Rajasthan High Court rejected the application made by Asharam Bapu, who has been sentenced to life in a 2013 rape case, seeking extension of his interim bail on medical grounds. A division bench of Justice Dinesh Mehta and Justice Vineet Kumar Mathur reportedly took note of Asharam Bapu's medical record and found that he is stable. While hearing the matter, the court considered the report of the civil hospital and on that basis rejected his application to extend the bail. Accordingly, he has been directed to surrender in Central Jail on August 30th. Two Pakistani minors had applied for Indian citizenship after surrendering their Pakistani passports. But here's the twist. India's Citizenship Act does not allow dual citizenship. The court said just surrendering a passport is not enough. A renunciation certificate is mandatory under law even for minors. The bench explained Indian citizenship can only be granted if Pakistan first recognizes that the person has renounced their citizenship. Without that, they are legally Pakistani citizens. So the court ruled that the minors cannot be granted Indian citizenship yet, but also clarified that once all legal requirements are met, citizenship may be granted. Coming to the last news of the day, the Kerala High Court granted anticipatory bail to rapper Vedan, officially known as Hiran Das Murli, in a case alleging rape on the false promise of marriage. The FIR was filed by a young doctor who claimed she met Vedan on Instagram, after which they exchanged their numbers, and he allegedly promised marriage while engaging in a physical relationship. Opposing the bail, the complainant's counsel argued that Vedan had similarly deceived other women. In this matter, Justice Beju Korean Thomas observed that whether a new crime was registered against a rapper by another woman or that another crime may also be registered are not matters under consideration in the instant case. In his bail application, Vedan contended that the relationship was consensual and the case was filed due to differences of opinion between them.